7 ugly habits in old age that push people away. As we age, we're told we become wiser, more reflective, and hopefully, more at peace with life. But aging doesn't automatically make us better people. It just makes us more of what we already are. And if we're not careful, the very habits we develop to cope with pain, disappointment, or loneliness can become the reasons why others begin to distance themselves. In this video, we're not here to judge, but to gently shine a light on some of the lesser-spoken truths about growing older. These are the 7 ugly habits in old age that push people away. Not because we're bad people, but because no one ever told us how these behaviors quietly chip away at connection. Let's unpack them together. Number 1. Bitterness masquerading as wisdom. There's a fine line between sharing wisdom from experience and spewing bitterness from old wounds. Unfortunately, many people cross that line without realizing it. They wear their pain like a badge of honor, believing that cynicism is insight, but constantly talking about how the world is falling apart, how people are ungrateful, or how nothing is like it used to be. It doesn't inspire others, it drains them. Young people avoid these conversations. Friends start keeping things surface level. Why? Because bitterness repels. It makes people feel like nothing is ever good enough. Wisdom, on the other hand, uplifts, even when it's born from pain. The key is reflection without resentment. If we want to be heard, we have to speak from healing, not from hurt. Number 2. Emotional withholding. In older age, some people become emotionally guarded, believing vulnerability is for the young or weak. They stop saying "I love you" or "I'm proud of you," thinking their presence alone should be enough. But silence is often misread as coldness. Children, spouses, and friends begin to feel unappreciated, unseen. Emotional withholding becomes a slow poison in relationships. The truth is, the older we get, the more intentional we must become with affection. A kind word, a warm smile, or an unsolicited compliment can mean the world to someone. Emotional availability isn't about being soft, it's about being human. And when we withhold love, we often end up withholding the very thing people need to stay close. Number 3. Dominating conversations with "back in my day." Nostalgia is beautiful when it connects us, but it becomes toxic when it becomes a one-way street. Constantly steering conversations toward the past, insisting things were better back in the day, or invalidating others' current experiences. This pushes people away. It signals we're not listening. It says, "Your world doesn't matter as much as mine used to." It can make younger people feel unseen, like their struggles are trivial. Instead of using the past to overshadow the present, we should use it to empathize and relate. There's nothing wrong with sharing old stories, but it becomes ugly when it's used to dominate, compare, or dismiss. Number 4. Judgment disguised as concern. As we get older, it's tempting to believe we know what's best for others. We start offering advice that's really just judgment wrapped in concern. We say things like, "I just want what's best for you," while criticizing someone's lifestyle, relationship, or appearance. The problem is, even if the intention is good, the delivery can feel controlling or condescending. People begin to pull away, not because they don't love us, but because being around us feels like walking on eggshells. They brace for critique instead of comfort. Respectful advice is a gift. Veiled judgment is a burden. And as elders, we must ask ourselves, are we guiding or are we trying to control? Number 5. Clinging to grudges. Old age should bring liberation, not longer chains. But too many carry decades-old grudges like sacred relics, refusing to let go. A sibling who wronged them in their 20s, a friend who disappointed them in their 40s, a child who didn't call enough last year. These emotional debts accumulate and turn into resentment that poisons present relationships. People avoid those who can't forgive because it feels like nothing is ever settled. The truth is, holding on doesn't punish the other person, it isolates us. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about choosing freedom over emotional imprisonment. And the older we get, the more urgent that choice becomes. Number 6. Rejecting new ideas and growth. There's an ugly assumption that growth ends after a certain age. That older people can't learn, can't change, and shouldn't be expected to. But clinging to outdated beliefs or refusing to evolve, whether it's about technology, gender roles, cultural shifts, or even family dynamics, can make us seem rigid and out of touch. People begin to filter their words around us. They avoid meaningful conversations, not because we're unintelligent, but because we've stopped being teachable. And nothing is more off-putting than someone who thinks they've already arrived. Curiosity is magnetic at any age. If we remain open to growth, we remain open to others. Number 7. Becoming emotionally entitled. There's a quiet arrogance that can develop with age. A sense that we've earned the right to say whatever we want, act however we feel, and demand attention simply because we've lived longer. But experience doesn't entitle us to disrespect. Some elders grow emotionally entitled, expecting visits, phone calls, or gratitude, without ever offering warmth in return. They believe their age makes them the center of every room, and slowly, people begin to visit out of duty, not love. They call out of guilt, not connection. Emotional entitlement creates distance. What truly earns loyalty is humility, not seniority. The most cherished elders are the ones who show grace, not just expect it. Before we end this conversation, I want to leave you with something that often gets lost in the noise of growing older. You are not finished. No matter your age, the story isn't over. You still have chapters to write, connections to build, apologies to make, love to give, and joy to feel. If some of the habits we talked about today hit a little close to home, don't carry that as shame. Carry it as a wake-up call. We're all human. We all protect ourselves in ways that sometimes hurt the very people we wish to hold close. But the good news? We can choose differently, today, tomorrow, right now. Too often, aging is portrayed as a slow fade, a quiet disappearance. But what if it's actually a sharpening? A refinement, a chance to strip away the noise, the ego, the grudges, and finally become the version of ourselves that younger us always hoped we'd be. The version who listens more, laughs easier, forgives faster, and loves louder. That version is still possible. Maybe you're watching this and thinking about someone in your life, someone you've pulled away from because they became too bitter, too cold, too judgmental. Or maybe you're realizing that person might be you. That's okay. Admitting we've drifted into these habits is the first step to returning to the person we truly want to be. Relationships don't die in one big moment. They slip away in 1,000 little ones. But with the right awareness, we can stop the drift and even rebuild what was lost. So here's my invitation to you. Take inventory of your inner world. Who have you emotionally distanced without meaning to? What softness have you replaced with sharpness? And more importantly, who do you want to be as the years go on? Because it's never too late to rewrite your legacy, not just in what you leave behind, but in how you make people feel while you're still here. If this message touched something deep in you, if it reminded you of the power you still hold to connect, to heal, to love, I ask you to do one small thing. Don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment and tell us what habit you're ready to let go of. And if you're on this journey of becoming better, not just older, then subscribe because this channel is for you.